Hello and welcome back to Kim Talks. I'm your host, Kim Hayden, and I am super, super grateful that you are taking time to share your time with us because I know how valuable it is. It's crazy. And I am coming once again from my sister's basement. So not in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, but down here in Wichita, Kansas, getting the opportunity to visit with my family and taking time to kind of re-energize myself and annoy my mother, but that's my job in life. I'm the oldest child and I'm supposed to do that. So here at Kim Talks, we're here. We just take time to share stories of insight and inspiration in life, love, and business with resilient women from around the world. But real quick, today's episode's brought to you by queenofresilient.shop. So it's our online store here at Kim Talks, and it's got a bit of sass and a lot of fun. So straighten your crown, shop around at queenofresilience.shop. Today's guest, I know I love doing it. I love sounding like an Ed McMahon commercial. So everybody bear with me. There's a reason why my mother's glad I live 5 states away. But on and forward, I am super excited. I've been working to connect with Joyce for a few months now, and we finally brought it together. So today, I'm going to introduce Joyce Marie. So during her transforming years from being an unfulfilled, burned out business owner, I think we all can relate a little bit to this, Joyce Marie became passionate about her personal development. She unexpectedly discovered her gift of songwriting in 2005. And now, as an author, speaker, songwriter, and happiness expert, Joyce Marie uses her gifts of songwriting and singing in coaching people to find their inner peace and happiness. She shows fast, fun, and efficient ways to do just that. Her second book, Arise to the New You, Questions, Quotes, and Lyrics to Lead You to Succeed, will soon be published. We're super excited to even talk about that today. So, Joyce, welcome.
Thank you so much, Kim. I'm really excited and happy to be here.
Oh, this is awesome. And you know what? I love singing, but it's nursery rhyme songs, and it's only to small children who can't get in their cars and run away. So maybe I can learn how to carry a tune. So, so Joyce, share with us a little bit. I'd like to get a little bit of background as to, where you're at and who you are.
All right. Well, I grew up as a very, very shy child, so it's kind of amazing to be where I am now. I've gone through a lot. I didn't like being shy, so I just did whatever I could to overcome that. And I didn't have a dream of what I wanted to be when I was a child. I was the middle child of 7 and felt very unloved. Didn't get a lot of attention being the middle child. So I just had this issue about feeling unloved. I felt like I was adopted. And I didn't even like heart symbols. It was like I shut myself off from anything that was about love. Like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I just kind of followed in the footsteps of my 2 older sisters, went to the same college, chose the same major. And then that changed when the nutrition professor suggested that I become a registered dietitian rather than going in the world of fashion because there were more job opportunities. So I trusted her, not knowing what else better to do, and did that. And that led me to doing a dietetic internship in Rochester, New York. And I was in Texas. That's my native state. So I went to Rochester, New York, and it was at that internship where I met my husband. And he had a dream to own a men's clothing store. And I loved his dream. And we fell in love and got married, moved back. Well, we moved to Texas. I didn't even have to ask him. When I brought him to Texas, he loved it. So we moved to Houston, Texas, and opened a men's clothing store, later adding women's clothing. And we had a lot of success. It was pretty amazing. Even professional athletes came to our store. So that was all very exciting. And after 12 years, we were able to move to our own custom built building. And we that kind of came about because we felt like we worked for the landlord, because what they called a triple net lease. I'm not sure if this is still true, but in this, once we reached a certain amount of sales, we had to pay a percentage to the landlord. So that's why we felt like we were working for the landlord. So that was kind of a propeller to get us to have our own building. And we did that. But then, you know, it was all good until working 6 to 7 days a week really got to us, and always hearing about our customers talking about all their vacations that we didn't have time to take. So yeah, we got really burned out, and I was beginning to feel unfulfilled because I was mostly doing a lot of paperwork, including the bookkeeping. And that was my choice when we started, because I had heard in the news about bookkeepers who embezzle from their employers. So I was not going to let that happen to us. And so that just created a whole lot of extra work for me.
Oh yeah, and if it's not where your nature is, what you love, what fulfills, it's twice as hard to do anything that is not native to you or fluid, right? So it's like when you learn a second language, you have to stop and think about it, and it's twice as hard to use that second language until you become fluent in it. And very few people are. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I could not do bookkeeping. I just hope I'm not getting ripped off. I'm pretty sure I'm not getting ripped off.
Well,
I just hope.
you have to have an abundance mindset, like I had a scarcity mindset back then.
Yeah.
Since then, I've learned about having an abundance mindset. If, you know, you attract what you think about. So if I was thinking about that I could find a wonderful bookkeeper, I probably could have.
So if we look at this, you started out following in your older sister's footsteps, and they were in fashion. Is that correct?
That was what their major was.
Okay, so they were in fashion, but then somebody came along and said, you should go into nutrition because this is where there's more jobs.
Yeah.
So again, almost like looking at things from a scarcity point of view, right? You should do this because you may not be able to achieve that. Then you met a partner and that had a shared passion, and yet that shared passion got overshadowed by having some scarcity mindset. So you didn't give out the jobs that would make you tired and exhausted. You were, this is very interesting. It's interesting course so far. I'm seeing the kind of theme. So tell us about what you do now. And then I want to dive a little bit into how that shifted.
Okay. Well, what I do now all came about when we got so burnt. My husband also got so burned out on the business, working so many hours, but we were just working all the time, and all I could think about was, I mean, I really wanted to do something else, but it's like, I have no clue what else we could do to earn a living, and I don't have time to figure it out. But luckily, a friend introduced us to network marketing, and I loved the product line, and I loved the business idea that we could start this on a part-time basis. And then what I really became passionate about was all the personal development that I was being introduced to through this. So we started going to personal development workshops. And at one of these, that was where I discovered my gift of songwriting. We had the workshop was called Life Directions. So one of our last exercises to do was to write a song about what we had learned during this event. We had 8 minutes to do it. It was to have a chorus and verses. And then at the end of 8 minutes, we were to sing our song to our group of 3. I did that. And there were 2 life coaches also next to me, and they all loved my song and were urging me to go on stage and sing it to everyone. So I was still thinking about, I guess there was still in the back of my mind that shyness that I grew up with, but I had overcome a lot of that because of network marketing. I'd gotten good at doing cold calling on the phone. I'd overcome telephone phobia, which I'd grown up with. Those were big challenges to me. But then here was this thing to go on stage in front of all these people. And the other thing was, just days earlier, I'd been mugged. So my left arm was in a sling. It was a broken arm, and I had an injured right knee, so I was using a crutch. But somehow I knew that I really wanted to do this. So I called up my courage and I hobbled over to that stage and I got on stage and I started singing and I just loved every minute of it. It was entirely an original song, singing with no musical accompaniment. And then at the end of the event, I was thanking the presenter and he says, "I thought you were a professional." So you can imagine how that made me feel.
Amazing. And this is coming from somebody who has said that you were shy.
Absolutely.
That is incredible. So really stepping out. And that is the one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize, that there is a background to network marketing, that a lot of network marketing has a lot of motivational pieces within it. So they all have motivational coaches within the organization, or, you know, so that is an absolute plus side effect to network marketing, because it puts you in a different mindset to corporate and to entrepreneurship. So in real estate, we don't necessarily, because real estate always operates as independent contractors. Mm-hmm. And if you're in corporate, you're part of a hive. Whereas network marketing seems to be kind of this more of like a collective. Am I correct on that?
Well, I didn't last in network marketing. It didn't work out for us.
But it introduced you. Yeah, it introduced you to the positive, what I think is a positive side of network marketing, and that is the collective mindset mandates that most of these companies do have.
Yeah, and also the products helped my health too. So I mean, it was all good.
All good. Okay, so now we're moving forward. We're not tired. We're burned out at the business. You are in network marketing, but this doesn't maybe have the full road in front of it that you thought potentially it would. Right. But you've been introduced to that motivational side of things, and now you've discovered your songwriting. So tell me a little bit more about that whole process and to where you are today as a published author and mentor coaching, everything that you're doing.
Okay, well, after learning that I had this gift of songwriting, you know, I was like, I really wanted to do something with it. I felt like, yeah, this is part of my mission. I'm supposed to do something. And so I was in a course that part of it was starting a blog. And I did that. It's called Lessons from Lyrics. And so I would write little stories that would include my inspirational lyrics. And I really enjoyed writing those. But the blog was supposed to make money. And I couldn't see how this was going to happen. It was such an effort to get those stories online, all the tech stuff that was involved, doing keyword research, et cetera, that all just spoiled the joy that I got from writing the blog posts. And another issue with starting the blog was my instructor said, "You've got to put your picture online." And that was really scary for me. But I did what she said, and then it was okay. That was another part of the shyness issue, I guess. I'm just a very private person, but I just managed to do that anyway.
No, I understand. Trust me, I do understand.
Okay, so I can't remember. I mean, so I didn't see that.
So you did the blog, and the blog was, so one of the things is blogs, books, these types of things do not actually make money if you're not a known entity. Right? If you don't have a gazillion, million people in your email database, you will not make money off of this, because nobody is going to pay you sponsorship money.
Right.
Where blogs work is if you have a product that you can help start promoting. You have to become your own sponsor. So how are you going to become your own sponsor? And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't really share the truth behind these, because it's the 3 T's that can crush our spirits. It's time, tech, and talent. You put all the time in, the tech is overwhelming, and then you start questioning your talent, right? Why is nobody listening? So okay, so you're doing this blog. It's starting to become a time suck. It's starting to suck your energy. So, you know, how did you go from blog to author to, you know, what's that journey look like?
Okay, so I got in a group called, I think it's called Ambassadors for Peace. So you had to apply to be in this. And in that, we were to write and self-publish a little mini book. And so I based that kind of on what I was doing in my blog. And even though the course kind of fell apart, they didn't quite get us to the end. I learned enough to get it self-published. So I'm very grateful that I actually did that. You know, you get quite a feeling from being a published author, even though it's a little mini book, but it was called it is called Lessons from Lyrics, How to Discover Your Value and Find Happiness. So I, of course, include my lyrics and just little stories. And my sister-in-law gave it to her daughter, whose friend was going through a divorce, and her friend told her that little book helped her so much. So, of course, that made me feel great.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was. So I was beginning to see that trying to make money from my gifts of singing and songwriting wasn't happening. So started getting lured by all these different courses about making money online, and got that shiny object syndrome, and was jumping from one course to another, trying to figure out a way to make money. And they just weren't working. And then when I started getting back into my songs and songwriting, it's like things were just starting to flow, even though not bringing in money, but everything is like I was attracting things to me that I would have never expected. So I strongly encourage people to follow your passion, especially if, you know, you're really strongly called to it, and see what happens.
So tell us a little bit. Okay, so before we dive into that, I'm going to ask everybody out there, and I always put this right in the middle of the podcast in case somebody picks it up and chops front end off, back end, whatever. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and share, because that's the only way we're going to grow this platform, to gift this platform for amazing women with great stories, women who are here working in their own unique way to make this world a little bit better. So, not making money. People still need to make money, Joyce.
Right.
So now you're in a space where you are going back to what feeds your soul. That's the songwriting and the music, and how that starts bringing people together. Mm-hmm. So tell me about where you're at today within your business cycle and what you're offering people.
Okay. Well, I kind of had to restart things due to health issues. I was having big eczema problems, which I had encountered many years earlier. And my husband was really helpful during that time. And then I got better, and then his health started to decline as he developed dementia. And I became his caregiver for over 3.5 years.
Oh, man.
And during that time, because of the personal development stuff, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. I just had gratitude all the time for all he'd ever done for me, which was a lot. He was a wonderful husband, and it was just sad to see him like that. But during this time, I even wrote a song about gratitude called Dear God, I Owe You. And that was during this time. So it was the gratitude and the personal development that I had gone through that got me through this time with pretty much grace and ease. It was definitely challenging, I can say that. And then when he passed away, I was able to handle the grief, again, because of the personal development and just the spiritual connection that I had developed through all of this. So just working on yourself and personal development is just so vital to having a happier life. And I can't remember what else I'm supposed to tell you.
No, you're absolutely right. And that, I think, is a space that we women over 50, mind, body, and soul. They say what you eat is what you are when they talk about your physical body.
Yeah.
What we ingest mentally is what our soul reflects, right?
Yeah.
And I made a conscious decision about 6 months ago where I actually only read my news. I no longer get any video because I don't want other people's body language influencing mine. And I really gauge when I'm done, does this feed my soul or is this draining me? It does not mean that I am ignorant to where the world's at or anything that's going on. I'm just very cautious to protect my energy and who I am, so I can keep my levels where they need to be in order to help others or be able to inspire others or even just to be somebody's comedic relief. It's like whatever you get from me, have at her. So we're going to come back around to, so you've developed all this and we now know why. It's like we've gone through the journey of literally going all the way back to that middle child feeling like, where's my place? Where's my place? You know, am I even seen and of worth? And you know what, Joyce, this is actually a very common thing I hear from a lot of people, is that when we grow up in spaces where there's a lot of, where you can almost disappear,
Mm-hmm.
it does project forward, right? Am I of value? And then going to school and wanting and just following the footsteps, but then being told, well, you should, like, there was a lot of influence all the way through here. And then the burnout, because, and I do get that because I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, and I do get vacation envy because, I mean, even just taking this 7 days, I have a community pray to garage sales where we raise food and pay completely out of pocket for all the promotions, for the garage sale kits, for everything in benefit of the food bank. I'm out of town and we had a tech glitch and some things didn't happen. And I've never in 22 years gotten an angry emoji on anything. And I got an angry emoji and it completely reset my mind. And it's like,
Oh, no.
you know, so what can you do? People got upset because they didn't get the exact, but it's just one of those things, right? So where are we putting our energy? So taking a step back from that. So you've gone through all of this, you've done the entrepreneurship, small business ownership, and now you're over here and you've gone through all these life journeys, lessons and lyrics, and you've got all this going on, and so how do you apply this within your, let's say, business world, coaching world, mentorship world? How do you apply this and how do you help others?
Well, because I mean, I just keep studying personal development. I have had so many different mentors and learned so much from them. So I especially like to incorporate that in my lyrics. And then it was I'm not sure exactly when this started, but I started writing with what I now call harmonic mantras. So they're like musical affirmations. So you've got to, instead of just saying some statement of a declaration or whatever, you know, what you want, I make it a little song, such as, I am Joyce Marie and I am free to love myself unconditionally. So I really love doing those because I love things that are fast and efficient. And to me, this is very time efficient because just like they're songs, so you know how songs will stay in your head, right?
Absolutely. They actually use music therapy in retirement homes and in dementia centers because it is proven now unequivocally that once you get that music in your mind, it takes you to that space, right? It helps improve memory, clarity in that memory. And, you know, I absolutely, you're preaching to the choir because music is absolutely a proven entity. So you do the affirmations in a harmonic way, and you teach people how to do this? Is there like, do you do courses online? Do you do retreats? Like, how does this, how do you connect this skill set, this mentorship with people?
Well, that's what's coming. I've got getting all my ducks in a row for course and group coaching, and my book needs yet to be finished. There were just have been a lot of interruptions, but good interruptions, and you know how challenges always show up. So that's all a good thing. So it's all coming together really well. It's just like I said, when you're doing something you're really meant to be doing, it's amazing what shows up for you.
Absolutely. And I can actually see how you could be a part of some of these women conferences, because a lot of times there's usually somebody that does a 15-minute exercise between all the different speakers, but they'll come on 2 or 3 times and really work with the room. Mm-hmm. And I could see actually you doing something like that, because what you're teaching and sharing is high energy. So first break, creating your mantra. Yeah, second break, figuring out your harmony, and third break, sharing it, you know? So I could totally see that. But I'm that lady. I'm like, you know, you want to sing? I'll sing. Nobody may like it, but I'll sing.
Yeah, singing is so good for you.
Hello. I've watched Elf. Have you seen Elf, where Will Ferrell does? Okay, so Will Ferrell, the Christmas movie Elf. I'm singing, because he talks about how singing, you're loud and clear for all to hear, because singing shares the joy. And the man could not carry a tune for love nor money in the movie, but it was so true that joy you can get from sharing that, you know, and I think you get lost in your own rhythm, you know, you can get carried away and just, you get that moment for your heart to realign and everything.
Yeah. And I know there's lots of people who think they don't sing well, and they probably had somebody early in life telling them that they weren't good. Are you hearing an echo? All of a sudden I start hearing an echo.
Nope. No echo on this side.
Okay, good. Well, my husband had attempted to he wanted to sing. This is way before I knew him. And he went to a vocal coach who didn't want to work with him. He says, "Oh, save your money," you know.
Shame.
Yeah, exactly. So I would hear him sing, and he definitely sang off key. But it was kind of amazing. Once I discovered this gift of singing and songwriting, and I was singing my songs, he started singing along with me. And then as time went on, I noticed he was singing on key. So, there's this music teacher, vocal coach, whatever. He does a lot of things, named Per Bristow. And I had bought some of his training, and he teaches that everybody can sing. That's a lot of
nursery rhymes. I know nursery rhymes. I did nursery rhymes with kids for 15 years, and now I sing to all of my grandbaby, and my sister's kids are much younger. So I'm that one. I love my nursery rhymes. Good. So real quick, let's talk book. Tell us about your book that's coming up. We're going to put it right out in the universe that you're going to get this finished, get it on the shelves for us.
Thank you.
Tell us about that book.
Okay. So it's called Arise to the New You: Questions, Quotes, and Lyrics to Lead You to Succeed. The lyrics in there are mine. And so it's got little short stories in there that illustrate what I'm teaching. And it's a journal. So there'll be lots of room, lots of questions that I'm asking to help you figure out what it is you should be doing, and et cetera, et cetera. There's just a lot to it. So
absolutely
will be very helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, that is the blessing of the last few years that we've been gifted, is that those of us who have come through the last few years and have a positive space of mind we're seeing the opportunities to live our lives just a little bit fuller, to pursue the things that feed our souls, right? Yeah. So where can people find you?
Well, I have a webpage called harmonicyes.com, where I'm talking about the harmonic mantras, and where you can choose to receive my guide that tells a lot about harmonic mantras, how you can use them, even though you may not have the tune to them, how to use them. And I've also included like, oh, I don't know how many different mantras I have in there, but I have a lot of different categories. So I think there's anybody that likes mantras in any way would find something beneficial from this. So again, that's at harmonicyes.com. And then I'm
Harmonic yes
dot
.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure that link and any other links and books referenced in this are in the blog itself. And you know what? Instead of asking you a quote, I'd like for you to close this conversation out with the mantra that you shared earlier.
The same
with yours. If you could sing that for us one more time, and then I want to challenge everybody to take this exact harmonic mantra that Joyce is sharing with us and put your name in. Joyce, can you share that with us again?
I'd be happy to. I am Joyce Marie, and I am free to love myself unconditionally.
That is beautiful. Joyce, thank you for being all that you are. And thank you for coming through challenges, which every person has a challenge, but looking at the cup half full and deciding to share that optimism and the gift of gratitude and giving us tools that even on the days that aren't good, that we can find something good within it. Right. I do appreciate you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate that you had me as your guest. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Awesome. You know what? Again, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's keep this positivity, the resiliency, keep this moving forward and finding the women out there that inspire us from all around the world. And you know, if you're feeling your resiliency is lagging just a bit, be sure to listen and lean into our resilient community. You know, join us totally free of charge right now. You're going to go to resilientgift.com and get your free membership. I'm not asking for any of your credit cards. There's going to be no sneaky renewals. This is literally me sharing out the gift of resiliency through the stories and inspirations of women from around the world. And if you have a story of resilience that you would like to share, DM me on Instagram at Resilience Series, and let's see what we can do to help you share your story further. So celebrating and showcasing female founders, coaches, entrepreneurs, authors, speakers, and those who aspire to be any and all of the above. Until next time, I'm Kim Hayden. I'm your host, and I am so grateful for your time.